Our first film review for this episode, I watched a recent Hulu original film release. It's titled Big Time Adolescence. It stars Pete Davidson, that comedian from Saturday Night Live. He was married to who was engaged to Ariana Grande or some bullshit. I don't know. I'm a fan of his. It's the primary reason why I checked this one out because I love Pete Davidson's stand up. I think he's a really funny comedian, and I kind of wanted to see how he did with the whole acting world and the film world, and I know he's one of the leads in this, so I was like, oh, let me check it out, let me support him. Who An actor acts alongside him, Griffin Gluck. He's from American Vandal fame. If you've seen American Vandal, you'll recognize him. He's the main character. He plays Mo. Pete Davidson plays Zeke. If you haven't heard about this one, it's a coming of age comedy slash drama film. It's about this one younger kid, Mo, played by Griffin Gluck, who I guess befriends his sister's boyfriend, high school boyfriend, and is even friends with him after they break up and after Pete Davidson, played by Pete Davidson, graduates from high school, and he's just, doing random shit, and they're just hanging out, smoking weed, and it's a coming of age story, sort of along the lines of Dazed and Confused and, American Graffiti, or maybe like Superbad is probably a good comparison to this. But spoiler alert, Superbad is a lot better than this one. But let's just delve in deep to this film here and why and what my opinions are of it. Right off the bat, the acting in this one is really good. The acting is really, Pete Davidson is really great in it. He's funny. The comedic bits in the film work a lot. I did find myself chuckling and laughing pretty consistently. So the comedic bits hit they do well, and I think Griffin Gluck as Mo does a really great job as well. The acting is amazing. I think the direction is also really good. You can definitely tell the director. What's his name? Director. Jason Orley. He also wrote the film as well. He's definitely talented behind the camera. There were some shots I was like, oh, this is actually highly impressive for a comedy coming of age story, especially the very last shot of the film. I thought was very good. I thought it was really, it kind of encapsulated the whole Mo's story arc throughout the film, what there was of it. But so I think the directing and acting were probably the biggest, strongest components of the film. Like it makes the comedy work very much. Also, a Machine Gun Kelly, the rapper from Cleveland, the guy in the main, the one dude who had like an actually decent diss track on Eminem. Yeah, he was in it. He's like best friends with Pete Davidson, so. Yeah, they casted him as one of his buddies who hangs out with Zeke and at his apartment or townhouse or house, wherever the fuck he lives. And it's surprisingly really funny. He was also really funny. He was really good. He was also in that Netflix original called Bird Box for like 5 minutes, but he was in that. So yeah, halfway decent. He was not, like I said, overall the acting not bad at all in this film. Actually, one of the strongest parts, and the writing by Jason Orley again makes the comedy work very much. I didn't, when they were trying to get a laugh, they got it from me, which is definitely hard to do. I think comedies, and especially comedies like this, are probably the hardest films for me to enjoy, because I don't really gravitate towards comedies as much. I guess it's just hard. I mean, it's harder to make me laugh with like stuff like this, coming of age, dealing with drugs and partying and stuff. I mean, I was not that guy in high school. I mean, this is called Nerd Out Sanctuary, so I was kind of a nerd in high school. I mean, I wasn't like in like the nerdiest of the nerds, but I mean, like, I didn't party in high school, so it's hard for me to relate So you kind of have to take my opinion on the film with a grain of salt, because I think this film definitely relies on the relatability with the characters to the audience, and I never really felt that, which kind of made this void between me and the characters and making me give a shit about them. So that kind of leads into like my main criticisms of the film. I thought the characters weren't likable enough for me to care about their arcs. And I don't think, in Zeke, Pete Davidson's character doesn't even really have an arc. The only arc that a character has is Mo in the film. But I mean, even that one, I just like, I didn't really have that emotional, like a moment that you would usually have in like a film that I thought like this, that I thought I was gonna have. I basically, I just have to kind of throw up my criticisms from to having a little bit high expectations for this one. I thought this film was gonna like actually hit me on a more emotional level that it did, and it didn't really hit me on any emotional level. Any like dramatic beats that this film was going for never really hit me or connected with me at all. So I think that really held the film back for me from like completely enjoying it. Like I said, the comedic bits work for the millionth time, but the dramatic elements of it, I mean, they're there, but I'm just, oh, sorry, that was my phone. My phone's, I'm gonna turn my phone on silent real quick because don't want that happening the entire episode. Sorry about that, guys. But back to the film. Yeah, I think the film I can compare this to would be probably Superbad a little bit, because they're both kind of high school, coming of age, pseudo party, not dramedy, comedy movies. I mean, this one's a little bit more dramatic and is a little bit more of a darker tone than Superbad. But I mean, Superbad is overall a lot better and a lot more enjoyable, mainly because it has relatable characters like Jonah Hill and Michael Cera and McLovin. They're funny because they're relatable, and like you see some of yourself in them. And I didn't see myself at all with Zeke or Mo or any of the characters in the movie. I was like, you're all kind of dickheads. Like, you're all kind of just like kind of shitty people, and like I wouldn't want to hang out with you because you're, I don't know, kind of an asshole. And so I didn't really care about their fates or what happened to them eventually, or at the end when you're supposed to be kind of feeling something at the end. I wasn't. So I think in that, you're definitely supposed to feel something for the characters. That's why it's kind of a criticism for me. So yeah, again, I had high expectations for this one because it was a Hulu original. I thought maybe like saying the standards. I mean, it is not a bad film. Okay, I'm probably making it sound like it's bad, and I'm looking on Rotten Tomatoes now, and it has an 84% critic score, which I kind of understand, because if I would rate this one, I'd probably give it a fresh rating, because it's not a bad film by any means. It is not. It's not a film that's incompetently made. It's well directed. It's really well written at certain parts, and it's really well acted. So I'm like, yeah, I would probably give it a fresh rating, and that's what Rotten Tomatoes is. If you didn't know, critics just give a film a rating. Either it's fresh or it's rotten, good or it's bad, and that's it. So 84% of critics said it was good, at least good. That's kind of why I don't really trust Rotten Tomatoes at all for, reviews. That's why I kind of like watching stuff like this. So hopefully you like this. But yeah, does it have the movie magic? Does Big Time Adolescence have the movie magic? Mikey's movie magic. I really did. I really wanted to give this film like my stamp of approval, because I don't like hating on shit on here. I like nerding out about film. I like nerding out about really good, like really cool shit that I'm into. And I really wanted to love this film because I really love Pete Davidson as a comedian. And I loved American Vandal, and I thought Griffin Gluck was really great in that show, and he's really great here as well. So like I'm rooting for these guys, and I'm not saying this is a bad film, but I don't think this has the movie magic to me. Mainly because, like, do I ever see myself watching this again? No. Do I see myself remembering this a week from now? No. Did this film emotionally resonate with me? No. I mean, it's a film that's not really made for me. I mean, a nerdy guy like me who loves films, like, not really. It doesn't really relate to me too much. So, yeah. But I mean, I could definitely see other people really liking this one. Like, if you kind of had that party type life in high school, and you kind of were a little, like, I don't know, you delved into that world like when you were younger, and like you kind of identify to these coming of age stories, I would definitely check this one out. Don't let like my opinion sway you. Like, I would still recommend this to some people, but like to people like me, you can definitely skip this one. So yeah, that's my review on Big Time Adolescence, guys.